Welcome to the Path to Publication Part 3, Submit Your Manuscript. This video provides information on the article submission and peer review processes. My name is Teresa Calcagno, and I am the IT and Engineering Librarian here at George Mason University. Once you have selected your journal, it is time to prepare the manuscript to send to them. When preparing your manuscript, pay close attention to the formatting, style, and citation style that are required by the journal you selected. It is best to get this correct from the start, or it could affect how long it takes to publish your article. If the journal provides an article template, use it. It will save you the headache of manually formatting the article yourself. Different types of articles may have different formats, so a book review will look a lot different from a research paper. So make sure you are using the right format for your article type. The table on this slide shows the basic parts of a research paper. Your paper may differ, but this format is pretty standard in STEM papers. How long does review take? The length of the review period for papers can vary for a number of reasons, and it basically varies from journal to journal. Smaller journals with fewer reviewers may take longer than bigger journals. Sometimes it is hard to find reviewers who are mostly volunteers, and sometimes reviewers will drop out of the process and another reviewer must be found. The length of time an author has to respond to comments and revise the paper will vary from journal to journal also. And the number of times a paper is reviewed will affect the review length. Some journals will do 2 or even 3 reviews of a paper. Once your paper is accepted, how long will it be before it is published? This depends on the journal, and it could be another 3 to 6 months before it is posted online. Journal articles are usually reviewed before publication for several reasons. One is to ensure that the papers under consideration fit the aims and scope of the journal. And the other reason is to ensure that the quality of the research and the analysis is good, and that the conclusions in the paper can be made based on the information given. There are 2 main categories of review: editorial review and peer review. In editorial review, a journal's editor or editorial board will review the paper and make a decision about its publication. Even if peer review is going to be done, the journal editor may still review each submission to make sure they fit the scope of the journal. For peer review, experts in a research field, who are usually volunteers, are asked to review the paper to assess its quality and to make a recommendation about publication. After the reviewer's comments are addressed by the author, it is up to the editor to finalize the decision. There are several different types of peer review, and the goal of each is to ensure the quality of the research and the paper that is published. Single-blind peer review has been around for many years. In it, the reviewers know who the author is, but the author doesn't know the reviewers. Double-blind peer review is currently considered the gold standard of review. Neither the reviewers nor the authors know the other's names. Because of this, it is regarded as the most unbiased review available. Open peer review is where the reviewers and the authors know each other's names. Researchers in some disciplines already do this informally by posting their manuscripts online and asking fellow researchers to comment. Collaborative peer review is a type of open review in which the reviewers mentor the authors during the review and revision process in order to help improve the likelihood that their paper will be published. When the reviewers have completed reviewing your paper, you will receive comments from them with suggestions. The comments shown here on this slide are excerpts from actual reviewer comments. When you get your reviewer comments, try to stay objective when reading them. If it is a double-blind peer review, the reviewers don't know who you are, so don't take their comments personally. Most reviewers are volunteers and really want to help authors do the best they can. Reviewers also want to ensure that the highest quality work appears in the journal. So sometimes they can be picky about the details or may seem demanding, but if you remember their goal is the improvement of your paper, that will help. When you get the comments, break them apart into action items to address and make a list. As you address each item, write completion and what you did on the list. If you disagree with a suggested revision, explain why on the list, and if possible, come up with an alternative way to revise the text and then point out the revision on the list. When you resubmit your paper to the editor, be sure and include the list with it. There are some ethical issues in publishing that authors should be aware of and try to avoid. The first one is plagiarism. Your research, analysis, and discussion should be as original as possible. When you use someone else's work, make sure you give them credit and cite their work accurately. Plagiarism may be unintentional, but it is still plagiarism. Check out online tools like Grammarly, which is free, and Authenticate, which is fee-based, to check your manuscript before submitting. Avoid self-plagiarism. Don't use passages from one paper in another paper. A second issue of ethics in publishing is multiple submissions. Make sure you submit your paper to only one journal at a time. Editors will reject papers if an author submits to more than one journal at a time. So you must wait until the first journal rejects your paper before you submit it to a second journal. Another big ethical issue in publishing has been assigning authorship. Who should be listed as an author on a paper? Publishers feel that only those individuals who have written part of the paper should be listed as authors. So that means that if I review your paper, I should not be listed as an author. If I wrote one of the sections, I should be listed as an author. If I helped you with the library research, I should not be listed as an author. And if I gave you advice on the structure of your paper, I should not be listed as an author either. If a paper has more than one author, the authors need to decide the order in which to list them. Some things to consider are: whose idea was it to do the paper? Who suggested the topic? Maybe these authors should be listed at the beginning. Who did the final editing and revision? Did everyone share in collecting and analyzing the data? If not, who did most of it? Many author groups make it easy for themselves and opt for alphabetical order or reverse alphabetical order. And in some disciplines, there may be traditions for listing authors. For example, if a faculty member and a student are authors on a paper, in some disciplines, the faculty member who is more senior is listed last. In other disciplines, they may be listed first. If you want to acknowledge somebody's help, use the contributor statements or acknowledgments sections of your paper to mention the people who helped you but shouldn't be listed as an author. Thank you for joining me for this tutorial series on academic publishing. In the last several pages of this part are the links to all the resources discussed in the tutorial. If you decide to write a paper, and if you have any questions about the process or need help with research, please contact me for help. Email me at tcalcagn@gmu.edu. And good luck to you if you decide to write a paper. It will be a very interesting experience.